This guy might have a what? Yeah, I was gonna make a heart attack joke, but it doesn't really work. All right, let's just play chess. Leave the jokes to the trained professionals. Do you get trained? Like, if you're a comedian, do they have training for that? Is there like comic school, or I guess there's like improv classes and stuff. I guess that counts. Okay, D6 pretty uncommon. I mean, not that uncommon. I actually faced this OTB today, like casual OTB. I was denigrating the Pierts, which I guess this, I don't know, is this a Pierts? Transposes to like a King's Indian probably. I guess it's a Pierts. Or I guess I have to play E4 for it to be a Pierts. Yeah, I mean now it's just like a mainline King's Indian. I guess they usually play Bishop G7 before D6, but who cares? Pretty much all the same. So yeah, this is looking pretty typical. Maybe I'll try something a little new. Like H3. Okay, he did that. I don't know that move as well. I know the move E5. I mean, I imagine castling can't be too bad. What I really wanted to do, I like this Gligorich system with Bishop E3, but that's after E5. I'm not sure if it actually makes any sense here. I guess Black's gonna play E5 next. He could play C5 and make it sort of a Benoni. I'm still thinking about playing H3 because I sort of like the idea of just trying to like sit on the space advantage and just say that it's hard for Black to make moves. I don't know how true it is, but I guess I'm just gonna castle and then we'll like visit this position afterwards and see what's in the database. I guess I'll probably forget to, but just go ahead and skip ahead in the video, see if I remembered to check it. Okay, so C5, I mean, it's 50-50 shot. He's gonna play one or the other. So now it's sort of a Benoni structure. So probably just push. And then, yeah. Very Benoni-esque. Okay, so this gives me an opportunity. I could take this, inflict some damage upon the pawn structure. Also, by taking, I'm opening the eyes towards G4, so I can play Bishop E3 without having to worry about Knight G4, which is normally something you have to worry about. I could even be sneaky. If I wanted to be a sneaky guy, I could play Bishop E3 first, and then I'm threatening take, 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 but that allows Knight G4. So I guess I won't do that. I guess I'll just take first. And, I mean, it seems hard to believe that, you know, this has to be somewhat good for me. Probably Black will try E6 later, so I think I need to be sort of prepared for that. For now, Bishop E3 seems very reasonable. Just sort of force Black to defend this. So if E6 is played, I don't know. I mean, it's sort of just, it's just a move. It may not really be the end of the world. I don't know if there's anything I can do to really specifically take advantage of it or anything like that. Let's see what kind of stats my opponent's rocking here. Oh, you guys can't really see it. He only plays rapid. He's got 22 rapid. Okay, so relatively new account. 22 rapid games. And that's the whole account. There's no other rated games ever. Okay, so I think this bishop is still going to somewhat struggle. There's not really a good square for it. Probably he'll put the bishop on b7 and break with e6. That seems like the most likely way to try to make something of the bishop. Queen d2 feels quite natural, but I don't even know that I want to trade these bishops, because, I mean, my bishop's probably a better piece than his bishop anyway. So, maybe what makes the most sense is to try to just get a lot of guys on the d file, because I mean I have the option of sort of doing stuff on the d file. If the bishop goes to b7, then d6 is always going to be risky, because e4 will be loose. But I mean, maybe I play f3 just to lock that up. Now, how do I go about getting everybody on the d file? Like queen d2, I think still, but that lets the knight come in, which I was sort of saying that I wanted to avoid. I mean, I guess I could just play f3 right now. That keeps the knight out. That keeps this under lock. It sort of feels wrong to play f3 unprovoked, but it kind of lets me maneuver a little bit more. I don't know. Like, I think I really would like rooks doubled on the d file and the queen not on the d file. But I don't know what to do with the queen. Like, c2 doesn't seem very inspiring. Maybe I just play queen c2 anyway. Like, f3 is sort of a committal move. Maybe I don't have to do that. Yeah, but I'm still allowing knight g4. I don't want to allow knight g4. That was like the whole point. Okay, I don't know. It seems, I don't know. It feels a little weird to me, but sometimes we got to try things that make us feel weird. That's my advice. Opponent offers a draw, which is not visible on the screen, but he offered a draw. I decline. All right, continuing. I wonder if he said, I usually don't have the chat visible. Let's see if he said some stuff in the chat. No, he didn't. Okay. Okay, I was right that he would try to do this. Okay, I don't care. You can take and give me a protected passed pawn here if you wish. That is a-okay. I mean, on the other hand, like, taking, there is some merit, because if he takes with the pawn, then the pawn structure's bad, the bishop's sort of bad. If he takes with the bishop, that allows this knight a pretty good square. But I think it's better to just improve my own position, like just queen c2, which was the plan. Get all the rooks on the d file. On the other hand, queen c2, if he takes, then one way or another there is going to be a pawn that ends up on the d file, which maybe I don't want, because I was sort of hoping to cause trouble on the d file. So yeah, maybe taking isn't so bad, because taking, you know, I'm definitely getting the d file to play with. So take, bishop takes, like queen c2, queen c7. Yeah, maybe I'm not even really getting the D file. We're kind of both getting there at the same time. I mean, I guess D6 is also a move I should consider, but it doesn't feel very right. I mean, D6, there is maybe some idea of knight B5 and knight C6. I mean, it just looks very invasive, but I'm not sure that the knight's actually causing that much trouble. I think just queen C2 and just sort of maintain the tension here. So if he takes, am I taking with the knight or with a pawn? Okay, he doesn't do that. Okay. Well, I think we're definitely putting a rook on the D file. And we're forcing his hand here a little bit. Which rook? Well, the F file doesn't seem super likely to be of consequence. Now I'm just threatening to win a pawn. Okay, well, D6 is certainly a candidate now. Taking is also still very, very tempting. D6 just, I don't know, it feels like, it feels like I'm going to struggle to hold on to that pawn down the road. I really like the look of taking. This bishop's a little sad if we take. Like, I kind of would like him to take, and then I can free up the bishop, maybe. So I could just double on the D file. Nothing all that significant has changed. Okay. Let's just prepare to potentially triple on the D file. As is so often the case, I'm taking much, much, much more time than my opponents. Okay, let's bring the other rook over. Now I could be threatening here, and if he takes, then I'm taking again. Not really a threat, but it's also thinking about bishop a6 for him, but I think I'm okay to just play b3. Still feels like white has to be doing pretty well here. I'm also wondering, should I just play queen d2 and triple up that way, or should I make the gun? Okay, now this is more tempting than ever. Yeah, or here or something. D6 again is always something to look at. Yeah. This is so hard to argue with. I'm not sure I want to put my queen. If I do, I think I want the queen at the back. I think we should do this before, like, while I don't know. I'm running low on time. This feels like sort of what makes the most sense. I don't know. Yeah. Structure's kind of iffy there, isn't it? Can we get the knight in here? I guess we can't. Well, we can. I mean, if the rook moves, this guy's hanging. If I can get a knight there and keep it there, that looks quite immense. It's the keeping it there that I'm not certain about. I mean, bishop here threatens the rook immediately. We still got to figure out what we're doing with this guy. The guy's not helping much. What if I take? I mean, then the knight has to go there, and the knight's not really all that good there. I think I sort of buy that. Let's take once. Yeah, I think this was the way. And then now, like, queen here. And there's nothing impressive for the knight to do. And we've really taken the file. Like, the rook can go here, but then the knight's pinned, and, like, bishop here. Yeah, so the knight just goes back. But I have the file. And the pawns are still weird. Like, I could even go in with my queen if I were so inclined. I really want this bishop doing something. I just don't know what. The knight could try to maneuver. Okay, let's just make a move. Really like the position. Don't exactly know what I'm going to do about it. Maybe some idea to go here and then try to get, like, this. Bishop here is always tempting. No time. Never any time. He resigned. Wait, why'd he resign? I was just sitting here thinking. He still never said anything in the chat. Like, I don't get why he resigned. I mean, I like white, but I got 3 minutes. He's got 14. Like, I couldn't really find a better move than queen d6. Okay, that was kind of a weird game. That kind of played out like he didn't want to play a 15-minute game, but he played a 15-minute game. I don't know what to make of that. Yeah, I still really don't know what I should do. I kind of just want to make like a nothing move and just see what he's gonna do. Like, it's hard for him to play. Like, I mean, I'm like bishop f1 or something. I don't know, just random move, make him do something. Let's see what the computer says about the final position. Oh yeah, okay, +3. A lot of these moves I was thinking about are actually good. Queen d6. So what I wasn't sure about queen d6 was like, why am I crushing it if he takes? Like, I was thinking about this. Like, okay, now I'm threatening that. What happens if he just decides to defend it? Oh, this, I forgot that that existed. Okay, I like, in the position on the board, like, I saw that that would be some idea, except for the queen is, but I didn't make the connection, like, oh, if we trade queens, then I'm threatening that. So he has to stop that. But this is also hanging. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty straightforward looking way of breaking through. I mean, I would still be getting a little scared that, like, you know, somehow my rook's gonna get trapped. But the computer's not scared. I mean, I guess I would take the challenge. Like, even if I somehow, like, probably the worst case scenario is that I lose an exchange here. But I got 2 pawns, so that's probably fine for me. Okay, let's look at the whole game. That was a quick one since he didn't really feel like thinking or playing much. It looks like the computer's saying that white was always ahead. I mean, it was a King's Indian, so. But that there was never anything real major. That was sort of how I felt during the whole game. So we transposed into a King's Indian. I think this was the moment where I was like, let's look after the game and find out what to do here. So I was mulling over like h3. I ended up castling, which is what everybody does. Although bishop e3 is actually scoring quite well. What does the computer say, even though it's slowed up? It says bishop e3, castles, and queen c2 are all good. So what I was wondering is, after bishop e3, if the guy plays knight g4, black's scoring pretty well there. And then, yeah, bishop g5 makes sense to me. I don't know what to make of this, because the computer's like, yay, go white, white's killing it. But then in the master database, the players with the black pieces are scoring pretty well. So I don't know what to make of that. And then they play c5. I mean, there's not that many games here. I mean, we're down to 9 games, and it's 2 wins for each side and 5 draws. Okay, so it's a way of playing. The way I play it is also fine. So why is bishop e3? Because bishop e3, white's scoring 43% over 138 games. But it looks like it's because most of the time the players with black are playing e5. And then, like, white sort of got away with bishop e3 and didn't get punished. Like, that's my sort of read on it. But after bishop e3, when black does play knight g4, black's suddenly winning more than he's losing. Only 14 games, but okay. Who cares? Castles is fine. And he played c5. d5 was natural. Computer's always gonna like white with the space. I think I mean, the way I played it felt sort of right. Like, just sort of sit on all the space and make black kind of squirm, because he can't, there's not natural moves for him to play. Taking was good. We're still following 4 master games, and white won 2 of them and drew 1. There's a game with Loke Van Whaley as white, so that's good, I guess. I've heard of that guy. Yeah, and they all played bishop e3, and black always played bishop or b6. So yeah, we're still following lots of games. f3 is a new move. It's the second computer move. Computer's also suggesting a3. I never really thought about it, but I was thinking about it later, just because this bishop got so bad that it kind of felt like the c pawn needed to become mobile. So trying to get some break here was starting to make a little bit of sense to me. But okay, I was worried that f3 was a bad move, but the computer is giving it the second best move, and it says white is still 1.5 here. That's pretty nice. He played e6, which, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it does too much. It doesn't like queen c2. It wants to play a4. A4 is another nice, just like, I'm just going to sit on my space move. Now it's a3 again. But okay, so I guess the better question is, why is queen c2 not so good? It wants black to take, and then it wants us to take with the c pawn or the knight. I think I would have taken with the knight. Well, because I noticed, like, one downside of f3 that I didn't appreciate before I played it is that now, like, this knight could potentially reroute into f4, whereas before knight h5 wasn't really possible. So then I was thinking, okay, here, like, if we ever get some trade here, maybe I want to trade with my knight, take with my knight to encourage a knight trade, so that this knight isn't coming to a more annoying square. Computer sort of doesn't care whether we trade knights or not. It says taking with the c pawn and taking with the knight are virtually equivalent. Let's assume we take with the knight, and then black trades. And I mean, this pawn is sort of like endgame odds. Like, any endgame is going to be really good for white. Nice protected passer on the 5th rank already. Okay, so I mean, I'm getting sort of sidetracked, but the question was, why is queen c2 not a good move? I think it's not really that bad of a move. I think this is just sort of the computer being like, well, you lost a little bit of eval, but again, it's still giving +1.5, so they wanted to play bishop g5, which I saw was legal. It wants to inspire black to create some weakness over here, I guess. See, I would be a little, I don't know. I guess bishop h4, there's not really any concern. Well, the bishop's better there than on this diagonal. I agree. So I could have tried to ramp up the pressure a little bit more than I did. It really likes a4. Interesting. It says a4 and black should play a5. And then we should take. Okay, now it's starting to like my move, rook fd1. Yeah, a4 never crossed my mind, but I like any kind of move that just like says, okay, I have a grip of the position and you can't move, which a4 seems to do. Okay, queen e7 was good. It always wants a4. I was never smart enough to find it. It doesn't like rook d3. Not too hard to believe, I suppose. It wants rook d2 though. So what's the problem? One thing I noticed about rook d3 is that maybe bishop a6 is annoying because we got two weaknesses right there, sort of. I mean, again, it's still giving 1.5 for white. So, yeah. And then it doesn't even like doubling. Okay, so why it wants him to take, fair. And then it wants me to take with the c pawn. And it wants to do this. But, like, I don't care, because I would love to trade these bishops. But probably it's going to play c4. No, it takes? Really? I think I'm, like, jumping for joy if this happens. I got rid of that bishop. And it's wanting to do this, which makes a lot of sense, but it still likes white, and so would I. Okay, so I don't know. My inaccuracies this game don't really seem like real inaccuracies. Okay, and this is probably my best move of the game because, I mean, rook takes feels a little counterintuitive to me just because, like, yeah, I don't know. It, like, at first it felt like, obviously I don't want to trade rooks because I want to, like, dominate the d file. But then once I realized, like, well, he has to take with the knight, and then the knight is just really bad on d7. So I'm happy that I found this idea. Trade rooks, queen d2, and white's position is really coming to fruition. Okay, again it wants bishop g5, which I again saw was legal. But I didn't really get like the point. I don't know. It's just very slowly and calmly sort of building the pressure. Like, I mean, our bishop's better here. We're pinning the knight to the queen, and I don't think black really wants to get too frisky with. I mean, he can't anyway, but yeah. I mean, I guess white just has it all here. The rook can't go anywhere good because we've got the file. The knight can't move. The queen sort of. I mean, everything's sort of stuck. This bishop's terrible. And then it doesn't really like that. It wants bishop f8 or a6. Yeah, I just thought like if he plays a6 that maybe I'm forcing him to make some weaknesses over here, but I don't really know how to attack those weaknesses. So. And then he played here and he resigned after I was thinking for like a minute. But, you know. Okay, well, an odd ending, but hey, I guess I'll take a win. So if you liked the video, please like and subscribe and that stuff. Bye.